please click. Here we go. All right. Hello. Finally, it worked out. Thank you so much for being here on our very first episode of Difficult Terrain Task Team M. I have a sort of new cast of characters here, some who have never played with us, some who have played quite a while ago and are getting back into it. All kinds of experience levels in this group, and I'm very, very excited to be here. Most of you know, I'm Foos. I will be the DM for this limited series. We will likely have 6 to 7 episodes, but we'll see how long it goes. So I'm just going to let the wonderful cast introduce themselves. And as per usual, I am going to be biased and start with my brother, who I drag along to pretty much everything I do on this channel and others. So, Nenners, what's up, man?
What's going on? I'm Nenners. I am Fooz's brother, as previously mentioned. I also DM on Fridays for our Legacy campaign, which has allegedly been called the Darkest. I disagree strongly with that. I play a Duergar. I'll just leave it at that, and you guys will figure out what's going on. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers most of it. Kurt, since we're going down the bloodline, you're next. Good luck.
So yeah, thanks, Len.
Yep.
I'm Kurt, and I have always been a system guy. So I had all the box sets back in the day from the 80s, changed my life. Ralph Bakshi, Lord of the Rings was another thing that changed my life, to see animation and how it could be for adults. So writing and all that kind of stuff, everything, the magic really came through that. So system guy, meaning that box sets and rules was the greatest thing you can have in your hands when you're opening it and you see everything in the pen and paper. Now I'm adapting. I've created more than played as a character. So I'm a nature person. So I go with the basic stuff and then I learn and expand more. So you guys are definitely on higher levels of rules and all that. And I'm going to rely on that. And it's a compliment and I appreciate it. I'm not embellishing. No, honestly, trust me. I know my speed. So anyway, I have a Duergar also, and he's the largest Duergar you've probably seen. He's and I'll leave it at that for now. He's a little bit older, but not old. And Duergar can live apparently for around 350 years or so. So he's an adult Duergar, and I'll leave it at that also.
All right. Kurt, who are you going to pass it off to?
Oh, let's go to Anita.
Oh, that's me. Hey, everybody. My name's Anita. I'm so excited to be here. Gosh, I really love playing with Fizz. I use she, her pronouns. I will be playing a Tabaxi monk, housewife, a little bit of a mess, called Karen Mwaggly. And yeah, like, my name, my character, I think that's it. I'm gonna pass it on to the one, the only, like, I'm looking at the character art and I am like living. Like, I'm so excited to like see this player in action. Vogly, take it away. Let's go.
Girl, thank you, girl. I am Vogly Vogelstadel. I use she, her pronouns, and my character is Helkatla Vograven. She is a changeling paladino, and I am very happy to be here. And I did the art back here. Yay! I have to
Very
fix
nice.
it, but did the art, yay! And thank you, Foos, for this. I'm very excited, and I'm gonna pass it off to my fellow player, Kit, with whom I've played on another campaign before. So, Kit, please take it away.
Yeah, hi. I call me Kit. I'm the guy without the camera. I am going to be playing a human barbarian named Wybert. And yeah, we'll find out from there, I guess.
A human?
Yes, human.
Hey, Kit.
That's not what you told me. Anyway, that's fine.
Kit, I think your mic input might be wrong.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
the mic
Okay.
does sound weird.
God damn it. Why did I do that? I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. That's why it's good we found out now. Don't worry.
Nope, wrong one.
Okay, how's that?
So much better.
Yay! Great. Good. Sounds good.
Yeah, okay. Do I redo that or what?
No, I mean, we heard you. It just sounded weird.
Oh, second. One second. I can hear you. I'm hating
You're fine, man. You're fine.
Okay.
Technical difficulties. All right, no worries.
All right. In that case, I guess I'll pass it on to Joe then.
Of all of your options, you picked me.
I know,
Hi.
right?
Hello, everyone. My name is Joe. That was just said. I'm repeating myself. Well, I'm repeating others. It doesn't matter. I'm playing Noel. Noel's great. Noel's a Minotaur. We'll meet him. That's good enough. That's good enough. Let's do it. Let's
That we
Dungeon and
will. I
Dragon.
love it. Let's Dungeon and Dragon this bitch. All right, so we are going to be picking up with each of these adventurers as they come together on this lovely little task. For those watching and who are possibly not familiar, this is taking place in a homebrew African desert city called Kimate Kimane. So each of these adventurers have found their way to this city, and we are going to watch as they all come together. So I am going to put the spotlight on my family members once again, as two Duergar, family related, of course, have found themselves in this city for a number of reasons. They've been tracking something, but also kind of living their lives, and one of them especially, kind of doing their best to improve the community, using wisdom and arcane to teach some of the younger ones, those who might even be orphans in some cases, have been looking to Zumi, the Duergar wizard, for some teachings every so often. And the sorcerer who kind of tags along with him at all times isn't much of a teacher himself, but the two of them have been working together and pretty much inseparable. But one of the days after a sort of impromptu lesson in which the two rather bulky, darker colored dwarves caught the attention of many a passerby and wound up giving a sort of unintentional lecture. As it starts to dissipate, and the crowd wound up being a healthy mixture of both adults and children, and even some who look like they had probably been practicing for years as well. The community just seemed maybe fascinated with the two of you. But as it starts to thin, what kind of catches your attention is there seems to be a smaller tabaxi, roughly 8 or 9 years old, kind of staring at you guys. He seems to probably be a native of the area. His fur is sort of tanned, and he seems to have sort of black along the sides of his face, similar to a Siamese almost, but with his little paws each being white. As everyone starts to thin out, you see him kind of stepping towards the two of you.
Hi, that was really cool.
I thank you so much for your interest, Zumnus replies, and is ready to hear, is trying to give a welcoming, like I'm here to listen. I'm so happy you're here, present.
Yeah, well, I saw you guys talking, and I didn't understand it, but I'm here because here, hold on.
He starts kind of rummaging through like the 3 pockets he has on all of his clothing, which is not a lot, but he seems to be likely an orphan or perhaps someone who's not super well off. But in digging through his pockets, you see him kind of pull out a small folded up piece of paper and extending it towards you.
That's for you.
I received the paper and I hand it to my. Do they know my nephew? My nephew.
Yes.
Argos is a little distracted, almost like slightly annoyed at the interruption at this point. But when he sees his uncle giving him that, he gladly kind of takes it.
And I have a huge smile, by the way, looking at him like, like.
All right. And he takes it and kind of unravels it. What am I looking at?
And you see him like thinking as if he's about to respond, and then in a flash, you're suddenly looking at his backside as he just takes off down the road. And as you're opening up this note, you see it has the recognizable logo of Mukami's Trinkets, the general goods store that the two of you have dropped by every so often. not a common location for either of you, but you have been there once or twice. And it simply carries the address of the place of the Mukami's trinkets, the address, as well as a time, which the two of you are noticing is a very strange time. It seems to be about 2 a.m. But at the bottom, it says, there will be payment.
I didn't sign up for Uncle. Did you sign us up for something?
I have not. I have not, but I am more concerned with this young Tabaski and his role in it. So it's worthy of investigation.
It's at 2 a.m.
Someone could be in trouble.
You're gonna need your coffee.
I will brew. I always have coffee ready. I have an affinity for, along with my presence, I'm a large Durgar, probably the largest, if anyone have ever seen a Durgar, one of the largest they have ever seen. Not the typical chiseled body of Durgar, and with a robe with many pockets and many pleasant scents of potpourri and materials to brew or concoct. So that is something that you would notice that, oh, this person has something to do with culinary or something.
And would you like to describe Argos for us as well?
Argos is way skinnier and shorter than his uncle, but it almost has like a permanent kind of scowl around this particular area, at least. But he has he's trying to grow a beard but can't, and it's very sparse when it's in, and kind of has like a 3/4 of a mohawk that kind of goes back out of his head. Very bushy. His eyebrows are almost the bushiest element of hair on him. Very almost Gandalf-like. But he wears it's like a tunic and a cloak, dark boots. All of his clothing is pretty dark, which clashes with his lighter gray skin. But he's a little miffed at the moment, but at least we're getting hopefully paid well for this. I appreciate your civic mindedness, Uncle, but for what we're trying to do, we might need more coin.
It's true. The payment would help, but the safer we are is the safer they are, the safer we are in knowing that this is a good area for us to continue operating and help. So it is worthy to see what is going on and what the role of this. I'm more interested in the role and the power that is influencing this young street urchin. I don't know, and then not in a derogatory way, but the concern to care for the young messenger.
Understood. I'll defer to you. 2 a.m. We should go. Why don't we leave a little bit earlier?
Yes, that's a great idea, and we can see the location and what happens around the area.
Yeah.
Before we.
Fizzy, are there any shops or like places that we can? Well, I mean, maybe not at 1 a.m., but like.
Yeah, 1 a.m. is not so much.
Any, like alleyways we can maybe creep in, because
so good.
He wants to make use of his genetic dark vision, which is further than most. So if we can get like within eye shot, but not obvious.
A pattern that we might have, Len, going around, since I'm obviously a little bit of a spectacle with the size, and there's a little bit of flair. I wear plain colors, dark grays, dark greens, yet there's always flair. There's always something that's like maybe a bright green or a bright yellow or something, according to the materials that he's used to, maybe one of the pockets, for example. So that I would be in the light, and Len would be naturally in the shadows or walking in the darker area with full confidence. And that's how part of our dynamic.
All right.
Yeah. if that makes sense.
No, I think it does. Because of you already being in this city, this isn't terribly new for you. Maybe the area, you're not around all the time. But when we get to that, I'm gonna have both of you roll a stealth check at advantage, just to see how well you guys are kind of like staying out of sight, and being able to kind of take a look around. So not now, but I will ask you for it later. So that will be your setup. But yeah, unfortunately, we lost Vogley. She'll be back. She just texted me and told me she had a brownout, unfortunately. So it knocked out her shit, but she'll hopefully be back soon. And I was actually going to go to her next, but I will skip to my next person. No worries. It is all good. The nice thing about this is you don't necessarily need to have a perfect pattern in mind. But we are going to instead go to what seems to be a place of worship. One specifically of a god who is known for his trickery, but also known for his kindness, and who also loves to sort of move around, be kind, but also loves a little bit of luck and playfulness. And on the doorstep of this mosque seems to be a handful of women chatting and having a moment to kind of catch up, gossip a little bit, talk about their children. But we are kind of focusing on a Tabaxi woman. And Anita, if you wouldn't mind describing your wonderful Karen for us.
Yes, so Karen Mwagali, as you can see behind me, shout out to Bright Goat and their pit crew. I love them. But yeah, she is a sort of like shorter tabaxi, about 5'2", 5'3", and like giving very much fat cat energy. She's very like chubby. She like has a very like long like puffy fur, and very like big cat ears. She wraps up her head in a sort of like head wrap, and has a holy symbol with a pipe like dangling from her neck. She wears like she wears a sort of like appropriate desert garb, like on top at least, like a very like short, that comes down to like a very short dress. On her legs are just like very bright, sparkly purple leg warmers. And she's holding a bag that is also just like in that like style of just very sparkly pinks, purples, like has it and is wearing it like a purse. Yeah, she is currently just like enjoying the company that's around her. Where am I exactly? Who am I talking with at this point?
You're talking with 4 or 5, no problem, of those who also come to worship here pretty often. So they're probably like your relatively tight-knit group. Most of them are also mothers. But the one that you're usually speaking with, her name is Noni. And the two of you seem to kind of be, fit as fiddles, but she seems to be the one who's talking to you mostly.
Yeah, I think at this point, I think Karen has just had a very, very long week. She is in the middle of like her 5 children, 5 quintuplets, just turned 13 like a month ago. And it's just like she really had to like run up out of there. Like praise the Lord, I love them, but
I gotta go.
I'm about to pop one of them I'm about to pop one of them in the mouth. If I hear one more smart thing, I need to take a lap. And she's probably just like venting a little bit to her friend at this point.
Noni seems to be doing the same. She's a half elf, but she seems to have 2 children of her own, both of which are well under the ages of your kids. But she's mostly just complaining about the diapers and that no one helps her, and she's just very frustrated about it.
Girl, you need to hire some help for yourself. Like two of them. Like, get yourself a nanny. Like,
it's so expensive. I can barely even come here. We have to pray to make sure that we get enough money anyway. It's a lot of work.
Girl, I hear you. Like, why don't you like call me over like once in a while? Like, come over to the house. Like, we can all like have a little, well, not a play date, I guess. Like, then they's grown now. So that's very clear. But
last I checked, you're still taking care of 6 people. Those 5 kids are still kids, and your husband doesn't do much from what I've seen. But anyway, and as she's starting to say this, her attention kind of falls away from you initially, just kind of trailing off. And despite her complaining, you've always known her to love kids. Even if they're not hers, she's just so excited to see them or be near them. And as she trails off, you notice that there seems to be a rather smaller, shorter to the ground, chubbier dragonborn child who kind of starts waddling his way up to the 2 of you. And with being a dragonborn, with the sort of draconic faces that they have, it's a little hard to tell gender or anything, and he seems to be sort of in a very large robe, but in his hands you can see there seems to be a mug that's just kind of smoking, and looking into it, it looks maybe like hot chocolate in the desert. It's a little weird, but he kind of waddles up to the 2 of you and is just staring. Noni's like, oh no.
Yeah, I think Karen like jumps a little bit and like sort of like a cat, like when they get like spooked or frightened, like jumps a couple feet in the air, like and like I don't think Karen likes kids that much. Like Karen loves her kids. Kids in general. Karen is not really that much of a fan and is just looking down. Hello. If you come here for Sunday service.
No.
Sure. I'm sure Marianne is. Oh, no.
Are you Karen?
Who wants to know?
Me?
Can I get a name, me?
It's a secret.
Children and their secrets. It's Karen. What do you want, little boy?
Hi, Karen.
He just stares for an awkward amount of time, and then afterwards,
oh, can you hold this?
He hands you the hot chocolate for a second.
Yeah, Karen.
Struggle.
Yeah, Karen is gonna like look to Noni and just raise an eyebrow. Like, do you know what this is?
I have
like,
no
just
idea.
give
Let
that
me
look.
take that from you, honey.
She takes it immediately. It's just like holding it, but it's like, wow, this is actually pretty hot right now. But as she takes it, you see that he's kind of still staring up at you, but with one hand seems to be kind of like digging in the sort of billowing shirt that he seems to have.
Do you know Mukami?
Girl, why didn't you just say Mukami sent you? Like, what she want?
She said not to tell you.
He hands a folded piece of parchment towards you.
All right, she takes the parchment, and looks at it for an explanation of the chocolate. Like, what does it say?
Very similar to the Duergar family members. It doesn't have the address, but it does have the time, and underneath it says, "I think you'll be interested in this. Why don't you swing by?"
Like, she takes note of that, closes, and says, "Did Mukami tell you to give that chocolate to me?"
No.
He extends his
That's
hands.
yours. Like, that's your hot chocolate. Girl, it's their hot chocolate. Like, give it back.
Like,
like,
Noni's slowly handing it back to him.
I didn't have
Like-
enough hands to hold the chocolate and give you the drink at the paper at the same time.
you drinking hot chocolate in the middle of the it's like high noon. It is everyone is sweating. Are you okay?
I'm fine. Do you like chocolate?
In moderation, I suppose. Do you have water? Like, it's she's gonna like dig in. She's gonna like start digging into her like pink satchel, like gets like a full forearm in there and like comes out with a water sort of like a water jug,
Water
like,
skin?
a water skin, and hands it to the little boy for his troubles. Now go on, run away to wherever you go to do your things. I don't know. Nani, you're better at this.
Okay.
You see Noni just kind of leaning over. Don't worry about her, honey. She's just like that. If you have too much chocolate, you're going to dehydrate. Okay. And as she's saying that, he turns off, starts waddling. It's with 0 speed. He waddled away just as quickly as he waddled up to all of you, but he does disappear down the street.
It's so strange. I'm always used to like looking up to like meet people at eye level, and whenever like kids are around, like people usually don't sneak up on me. But that is just gives me the shivers. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it.
I'm used to smaller people, considering the 2 children that I have are very small. But did you just get a secret message from a child you've never met before?
Oh, girl, it's just Mikami. You know how dramatic she like to be, getting all. She does a lot.
You do not need to tell me. Right after that, she seems to just kind of sink back into the gossip conversation. Like, that's the only answer she needed, to just be like, it's fine.
Yeah, like I think that like Mukami is a strange character, but like a character that like Karen really enjoys, just like in her little community. So if she says that like I might be interested in this, like she needs something to take her mind off of these kids, I think she's gonna head down like right then.
Sounds good. All right. It does say 2 a.m. and it is kind of mid-afternoon at this point.
Girl,
not to say you're not welcome to head over, but I'm just letting you know.
I'm going over there to ask why she has me up at 2 a.m. Like, I'm heading straight there and trying to get some answers.
I love it. All right. So I will come back to you as you're on your way. But we are going to pick up with Vagli. I'm so glad you're back. Hello, girl. How are you?
Me too. Yay, that was a brownout. I don't know if it's going to happen again, but if it does, I'm sorry.
Is there a storm by
you? No.
You just had a brownout?
Yeah,
okay.
I live in a janky place. All right.
Well, either way, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome back, but I was going to hop to you next. So I will do that right now. But being relatively new to this city, one of the common haunts for those who are traveling through or perhaps haven't been around for too long would be one of the many taverns for a good meal, perhaps a good conversation. Although there does seem to be a little bit of hesitance with the crowds around this particular paladin. Perhaps the way she dresses, perhaps the way she speaks. Everyone's friendly enough, but there seems to be a little bit of a birth around her wherever she sits or walks. There's eyes on her every now and then, but nothing rude, just curiosity for the most part. But one of the places that you found yourself coming to every so often would be the Scimitar Lounge. The crowd here does seem to be, or lodge, excuse me, not lounge. I do this every time I say that. I made it, and I still say it wrong. The Scimitar Lodge, which seems to kind of be a common place for either mercenaries or adventurers of some kind. It's not necessarily a rowdy bunch, but it is a lot more colorful than some of the other places. But finding yourself here, Vogli, would you like to describe what your character looks like? Perhaps what she's eating or drinking, what she's doing?
Sure. So Hakatla is basically mostly in monochrome gray. Sometimes she is called the Gray Lady by those who know her somewhat well. And she, is very daintily eating some food and also like looking around at everyone and just making observations. Like her head almost doesn't stop, and she has a plate of what is it, cooked or steamed vegetables and potatoes and like a little bit of meat on her plate. She's just like gently cutting and having small pieces and just being very thoughtful with everything that she does. But because she doesn't really have any color in her eyes, it's really unsettling whenever her look goes over anyone, and it's probably the reason why. And she's in mostly chainmail armor, but she does have plate on her arms and on her legs, and it doesn't really seem to bother her too much as she just sits at the bench with very straight posture, not necessarily tight, but straight posture, and just making observations and just being curious. And when she stops chewing, you can see her just look happy in terms of, like, I guess a very subtle happiness, like she is fulfilling some kind of level of curiosity as she looks around. Because even though she is covered head to toe as a warrior would be, she also gives off an air of calm and an air of just openness and willingness to listen. So that's the kind of person she is.
Yeah, as you're enjoying that time, you watch as what seems to be a shorter individual kind of comes from the backside of you and goes around to the table to sit on the other side. And at first, the part of you is expecting perhaps a halfling or a gnome just because of the height. But as this human girl kind of pulls herself into the other side of the seat, you can see that this is indeed a child of some kind. But she looks a little bit older than the other two that we've seen. She looks like she's probably 12, maybe 13 or so, but still on the shorter side. But you see her kind of sit into the seat across from you and look over you.
Hello.
Hello. Care to join me? And she pushes the plate a little towards her.
Don't mind if I do. And she kind of reaches for something that's sort of biteable and grab, like just like from a hand feeding type situation. So
she turns her fork around and hands the fork to the child and just sort of gets a little bit closer, almost hanging herself over the table to get a very short distance, as much as she can, between her and the child.
You're a little surprised that she doesn't seem to kind of like recoil as you lean in, but her eyes just kind of meet with yours. And she seems to be focusing intensely. And from the tip of her nose, you start to watch as the kind of tanned human skin starts turning white, and it starts to kind of spread across her face until you see her face kind of morph into yours.
Hello.
Hello.
What's your name?
My name is Helkatla. What is your name?
And you watch as the white kind of remains on her face, but you see it kind of spreading down her neck into her fingers, and she seems to kind of revert to her original changeling form as this changeling little girl sits across from you.
My name is Kiara.
Welcome, Kiara. It seems we are both strangers here.
Well, I live here.
Mm.
I mean, not here, but I live here. You know what I mean?
Yes, I should have surmised. What brings you to a place like this?
You actually. Not really supposed to tell you. But anyway, you're just supposed to kind of come to a place if you want, because someone really likes your big hammer.
I like my hammer and my mace too. They are very useful weapons. So
yes.
So if you can't tell me, do I follow you?
And she remains like eyes locked on you as she reaches for another piece of bread. And as that bread is coming towards her mouth, her other hand is not subtle at all, like almost loudly sliding the parchment across the table in your direction as she takes a bite of the bread.
And Helkatla picks up on that immediately and tries to be very quiet with her chainmail to cover her hand and almost start to examine her clothes and just kind of lift up the sleeve and kind of look and also examine like some of the edges of her fingernails, things like that, just making observations.
You're supposed to read the paper, not.
She kind of like pulls back a little bit.
And then Helkatla takes the paper and then just opens it in her palm and then reads it just skims it.
You also see the address, a 2 a.m. timestamp, as well as a little blurb underneath it. But if you're skimming it, I would just say you probably don't read the whole thing. Obviously, you can read it. It's like a sentence. But if you're just skimming it, the thing that pops out to you is the address and the time.
I see. Thank you. And she puts it into the chainmail on the inside of, like, I imagine it's like cut out almost like a wimple, so she's sticking it like in the neck side.
And, you see her nodding, and then like in the time it took you to do that, you're a little surprised that like about half your meal seems to be gone, and she has not stopped chewing.
She just observes the child and just sits and then turns to look for a waiter or waitress and requests one more, please.
Oh, that to go, if you don't mind.
Okay. Very well. Which do you like? Which do you like better, the vegetables, the potatoes, or the meat?
Everything.
I see. And can Helkatla look at the plate and see what she's eaten first or most of?
She's eaten what's closest to her first. It's like slowly working her way on like to the plate, like the side that's closest to you, I suppose. But was very
beg your
much
pardon. To beg your pardon. Yes.
Oh, thanks.
One of them is for me, if you don't mind.
Thanks.
And as the sort of second plate comes out, you see her kind of just like grabbing it and getting ready to go.
I can't stay, but it was really nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you too, and enjoy. I hope to see you again soon.
Thanks. I'll tell my friends about you. You should buy them food too.
Okay. I will be more than happy to do that.
You're the best.
You see her kind of like sneaking out the front door with one of the plates that's absolutely not to go. That was like something that was definitely supposed to stay inside the tavern, but you watch her leave with it. And as you kind of turn, you see the waitress also has watched her go and is just.
I apologize. I will pay for that.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. But she heads back to the kitchen. But yeah, you do have the note in your hands that does say the 2 a.m. and the location.
Okay.
Um,
That's
but-
all she needs.
She said, "No worries, don't worry about it."
Mhm.
And from there, we are going to pick up on the outside of a blacksmith's building, the White Mallet, as it is known. The half-elf here, who works here, is well known for his ability to craft items, take commissions, but also sharpen certain weapons or have some ready to go. And on the outside of this, we see a rather fur-covered, horned individual with a pair of spectacles on his nose, leaving after getting his great sword polished. But Joe, if you would like to go ahead and describe your character and who we're looking at.
Surely, I would love to. Leaving the blacksmith is just a literal beefy boy. Just shy of 7 feet tall, just over if you count the horns. Just taking up too much space. Sometimes conscious of it, other times very oblivious and just bumping into people. But wearing like sensible traveling, like he's got like, I guess they're like capris because he's got hooves for feet.
Yeah.
So they only go down to an ankle.
Nice.
But like sturdy khaki traveling pants with like a wide belt. You can see like just loose, thin gray fabric that are his sleeves going like long sleeves. But over that, he's wearing like an olive military style jacket. Not like badges and emblems, but just maybe military is the wrong word. Doesn't matter. Like olive green, buttoned up, and you can kind of see at the edges of the rolled up sleeves of the jacket, and then where it's not buttoned all the way, glints of metal armor underneath the jacket. A big old great sword he's putting away on his back with a longbow there, just like an Indiana Jones satchel at his side, which he is now opening up to pull out some paper or map. Which is why his spectacles are on. He needs reading glasses, and he's just trying to adjust to where he's going next, looking at the local map of the area, which may or may not be something he hand drew after being here for a minute. I don't know if they sell maps. If not, he made one. It's fine. It's probably not great, but it's there.
He's got a map, let me tell you. But as you're going through that and looking down at this map, actually, what is your passive perception, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, let's find out. I bet it's not as high as you'd think it is. 12.
Okay. So with that, you only kind of start to look down. There's the hustle and bustle of the city. This is a relatively larger, or not larger, excuse me. This is a relatively busy intersection that you find yourself at, which is a very wonderful place for this blacksmith who gets quite a bit done here. But while you're staring at the map, you don't hear the footsteps approach you, but instead you feel a little tap tap on the underside of your map as someone seems to be standing beneath it and pointing or poking up through it.
Just looking. It takes a few taps. And I described all his clothing. It's like a pale brown. He has fur. It's hair. It's part of his appearance. Anyway, and then after to continue tapping, what's that? Hello.
And as you look down, there seems to be a fully red-skinned with horns that are still growing in, so they're probably like an inch on either side of his forehead. Really dark black hair, small tiefling boy looking up at you. Roughly, if you had to put an age to it, probably 7, maybe. But looks up.
Hey, you're really big.
Or perhaps you're very small.
That's a good point. Can I be small and you be big?
But yes, that is what we are. Yes, accurate.
Oh, okay.
Well spotted.
Thanks. By the way, you dropped this.
And you see him handing out about 5 gold that you're pretty sure was in your pocket at some point.
Huh. Well, you've done a good turn, and I'm gonna give him one of the coins and put the rest away.
Oh, gee, thanks. I wasn't here for. I was just tested because you had the whole thing, and I could walk right under you, and you can't see. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm actually here.
You see him kind of like sink for a second and then like muttering under his breath.
Mukami
Well,
told
spit
me.
it out, boy. Come on.
Mukami told me not to steal. I'm sorry.
Steal what?
Anyway, nothing. I didn't steal anything. Here you go.
You see him reach up with like his whole extended hand to hand you a parchment that is regular sized for a regular human, but in your hands is like a Tic Tac, like it's like a Tic Tac container. It's not very large, but it's a little folded
spend a
piece
good
of
20,
parchment.
30 seconds fumbling to fold a map because that's not an easy thing to do.
No, it's not.
You probably roll it up in this type of setting and put it away in the thing,
Yes.
and just reach down delicately, just adjust the spectacles.
And on this one, it also has the address for Mukami's trinkets, the 2 a.m. stamp, as well as I think your talents could be put to great use. I'll pay you handsomely.
That is rather late. Nefarious, mysterious, intriguing. I'll go. Let me just look around because I realized I stopped paying attention to the boy, and I don't know if I'm about to step on him.
At some point, like as you're looking around, you feel a small, warm hand wrap around your tail and tug just gently.
Whoa, that's real.
Yes, indeed.
He turns around and you see a spiked, pointy tail kind of wrestle its way out of his clothes.
I have one too.
Good for balance.
Yes,
Not for pulling. Don't pull tails. You should know better.
that's true. I'm
In
sorry.
polite society, it's rude in the wild. If you were to pull the tail of a beast, it could maul you. You don't want that.
Are you gonna maul me?
I wouldn't maul you. No, I'm not a beast.
Oh, okay. Wait, you're not?
Insolent boy. Go, play, bother somewhere else.
You see him kind of scampering away. But you also have your note now. And lastly, we are going to pick up with what I have on the character sheet and has been told is a Goliath, but might be a human. So who knows? But a bald man with a very large great axe on his back in another tavern of some kind. However, this one different from the Scimitar Lodge. It called the Greasy Bottle. Is known for kind of being on the not great edge of the city, but is also known for sort of the tougher clients and some of the less, let's say, cultured tastes in terms of food. Very much just meat on a stick and some ale is what you go to, or what you look forward to when you come to this place. But in this
Rat
place,
kebab.
Rat kebabs, there we go. But we are picking up with Kit. Would you like to describe your character and perhaps what he is eating?
Well, yeah. So, what you see is just a very, very large human being. I mean, he's absurdly tall. Like, he's 8'9". He's very wide. He's covered in these tattoos, right? And he's just bare chested, right? The only real clothes he's wearing is below the belt, right? And this bear fur around his wrists, right? Like these wrappings around his wrists, and that's really all about it. And what he's eating is just what you can. It's a really just a rare thing even for the place that it's in. Some kind of seafood. I assume like some kind of like eel or something. And he's just going to town.
Making quite a splattery mess. The Greasy Bottle is known to have sort of rough patrons here, and they all seem to knowingly give this shirtless feasting man a good amount of space. Where the rest of the tables seem to be well occupied, this man sits alone and kind of proudly eating in his space. But as you find yourself eating, it is not terribly long until you feel kind of a very gentle poke on your side. A good 5-second pause, and then a series of 6 more, way more urgent pokes in the same exact spot.
Okay. So at that prodding, he would go, "Mm." just like this very deep, like, huh? You know, and just put down the eel and just look down.
And you turn to see a green-skinned half-orc boy whose tusks haven't quite come in yet. They're probably like half an inch each, and they're just starting to kind of poke out from his lip. And you can actually see like both of his both parts on his top lip seem to be a little red. He's not quite used to them yet, and has probably chomped on his lip probably too often at this point. That it is just permanently just a little red. Shaggy brown hair and a little scarf across his neck, even though as he's looking up at you, even though you're sitting, he is probably barely over 10 years old. But after you turn around and go, he does his own kind of, trying to sound as manly as he can, but it's not as deep as it probably should be.
Okay. So after seeing him, after hearing his, he goes, "Why you need Bert? Why you poke Bert?
Is your name Bert?
Yes, I Bert. Why you poke Bert?
Your name's Bert. That's a funny name. Hey, I have a question. Your skin is like really pale. Do you burn? Does Bert burn? Are you burned, Bert?
Bert does not know. Bert
You
does
don't
not
know?
notice.
Oh, okay. You seem okay. Are you having good food?
Easy good. He's
Yeah.
fish.
He goes back to prodding the same spot.
Where are you from?
From the farm.
The farm?
The farm.
Oh.
And
Okay.
he just keeps like chomping in between answering. He just keeps chomping away.
You see him kind of like, you're probably not noticing it, but others who are like, this giant man who's eating like an animal is suddenly joined by this child, and the child seems to have zero fear of for you at all, but as you're starting to like chomp, you kind of at the corner of your eye recognize that he's kind of mimicking your movements and just trying to like flex and be real big beside you, but that's a 10-year-old boy, so it's not getting much larger. But you can see him like, "Arr, arr, 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 arr. My name is Bert." Arr, arr, arr.
Okay. Yeah. So why you copy Bert?
Because Bert is strong. I'm strong too.
That's just kind of like doing flexes like right in front of you.
You strong?
Yeah.
You
Oh,
do not look strong. Not yet, anyway.
I will be
You
strong.
must eat.
Yes.
And you see him like take a chunk off the eel and just like hand it down to him.
You see him reach up with both hands, not even bothering for utensil. This is like cooked slimy fish, basically, that he just reaches for and takes a bite immediately. And as you like kind of watch him take the first bite, he just looks up, still mid-chew, talking with his mouth open, some like bits kind of sputtering out of his mouth.
That's pretty good. Thanks, Bert. You have a funny day, but this is pretty cool. Hey, look, I don't mean to be rude, but I have another question for you. Can you read?
No, Bert cannot read. Bert tried. Never good with reading.
Okay, so I'm gonna read to you. Okay.
Mama used to read to Bert.
I'm not your mama.
I love this.
So, is it cool if I read to you? Are you okay?
You read.
Yeah. Okay. It's a secret though. You can't tell anyone. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
We shake on it.
Shake on it.
Okay.
You see him use the like fishy hand that reaches out.
Yeah, just ginormous hand reaching down to shake it.
Yup, you absolutely dwarf his hand, but there is like, even though he is a child, there is a little bit of sort of like half-orc sinew and muscle that is a little beefier than like a human child would be at the size, but that's still a child. So you're still, like absolutely dwarfing his hand, but he just kind of shakes your hand. And then after that,
Okay. It says be at Mukami's Trinkets at 2. Can you tell time? Do you know what time it is?
What time is now?
Time is. He kind of like looks out the window.
Like 2:30. So the other 2, but at night.
Oh,
Go to Mukami's Trinkets.
after sun go down.
Yes.
Oh,
Bert got big brain. So at Mukami's Trinkets at 2 a.m. It just says gold and food.
golden food.
Yes.
Bert like golden food. What
I think she knew-
Bert do?
I don't know. You just go there. Just go to Mukami's Trinkets.
Mukami.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
And he just goes back to his eel. You want more eel?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you see him rip off another piece and just hand it to him.
And there's this kind of like oddly adorable scene where an 8'9" human man sits at a bench in a scary tavern with human man sits with a child right beside him. The two of them just kind of eating, and anytime Bert is not looking, the little half-orc child is just flexing to himself in the corner. But he does leave the parchment with you. And eventually kind of scampers off, but you do.
I'm just curious, how big is the parchment in his hands?
Oh, it's very much, again, Tic Tac container size in your giant hands. It's real small. But if you do open it up, like a Post-it, yeah, exactly. It's like this folded little. Let me just read this real quick. But as you have it and kind of like open it up, there are words, but you do see that there's actual like drawings of like, there's a drawing of Mukami's Trinkets, the store. There's like a drawing of the moon going down or the sun going down and the moon coming up. And then there's another of like a pile of like gold and like a turkey leg right next to it.
Nice.
Okay.
That's the note you have. There does seem to be words on it, but you don't read that. There's also like pictures as well. But,
Yeah, he's going by pictograms here. Okay.
Right, exactly. But you get that as well. So with everybody being contacted in their different ways, Karen, I believe, was interested in kind of heading over to Mukami and seeing what was going on during the day. So we can say that she has made her trip over there. And it is still open at this hour, obviously, but you can head on over, no problem.
Honestly, I feel like Karen wants to go over there, but for the narrative, I kind of want to be surprised by this. So I'm going to say that like when she gets over there, Mukami's Trinkets is full to bursting, like, and it's just very loud. There's a lot of people shuffling around, and Karen is very cat-like, and like we'll see the noise and the bustling of people, and like we'll just like the hair will stand up on its end, and she'll just be like, I'll just check in tonight, and like go back home, let her people know that like she'll be on some sort of adventure.
All right, great. So with that, I believe the Duergar brothers wanted to arrive early. So I will ask for stealth checks at advantage from the two of you to see if you can kind of get a glimpse of what's going on before you get started, or just to kind of case the joint, see what's going on.
Cool.
Right. Let's see.
These are the first roll.
Okay.
Let's go.
Where do I go to roll?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at your character sheet, first and foremost, you should have a toggle at the top below like where your name is and stuff. It should say advantage, normal, and disadvantage.
Okay.
Pull your...
Also, we have some
Yeah,
newer folk
okay.
here, so don't be alarmed.
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yep, click on advantage.
So click advantage.
So that's going to have you roll
Yes,
twice. Take
perfect.
the highest. Excellent.
Exactly.
Now, scroll down on the left column. You'll see your strength decks, all the saves that we talked about before, and below that is where your skills are. It's in alpha order, so stealth will be towards the bottom.
Should be penultimate.
Click on it.
And just click it. Yeah.
Yep. Click it once, and it should roll. You should see the
Yeah.
dice and everything.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
You two nutty. Let's go.
Oh.
Yay!
Okay, well there you go. And then there's genetic.
I have proficiency in this. I don't suck. I just can't roll.
I'm not about stealth in personality or demeanor, so this makes sense for me.
I love it.
I'm
sorry.
just gonna flavor it if it's okay. Of
Yeah.
Argos like
Let's go.
trying to get his uncle into the shadows, but like a little bit of a conflict there. Like, come on, uncle, get out of the light, get in the shadow. Like, just and that is what makes my roll terrible.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. But I'll say that like that happens kind of like when people are coming in, but in the beginning you're like, we're doing all right, no problem. Get over here. Like, just that conversation is what could be heard. So for the rest of you, if you are coming in just kind of nonchalant, I don't think I need any kind of rolls from you. If you want to take a look at what's going on around it, or if you also want to be stealthy, you can roll stealth checks. But you guys can let me know how and possibly when your character would approach. Would it be directly on time? Would you be a little early, or how would you go about it? And I'll go through you guys. So I'll start with Vogley. What time and how do you think she would approach?
She would arrive stupid early because she would be looking around for, people in need, looking around for like any odd jobs, things like that around the city. On her way towards Mukami, having read the letter later, and then arrive way too early, and then just kind of like walk around a few blocks, things like that, just making observations, looking into the alleyways, seeing how the buildings are, what's hanging for the buildings, things like that. If there is enough light, I assume that there may be. And then about 10 minutes beforehand, she's going to, wait in, I guess, an alley across the way, observe who goes in for a few minutes, and then walk her way in.
All right. Are you going to be stealthing while you're waiting in the alley, or are you going to just be waiting in the alley? Essentially?
I didn't realize that you could stealth while you're waiting in the alley.
Just like kind of her like sitting in the shadows, not necessarily like I'm ready to spring out on
yeah,
because
it seems chill to me. So I guess
you don't have to. I'm just asking.
Chilling. Yeah, she's not. Okay. She's not. Just being in the shadows. If someone notices her, she's not trying to hide. She is like monotone gray on the lighter side, so it's not like people can't see where she is.
Right. Yeah.
So fair point.
No, it's okay. No, that's why I was asking. Like, if you're trying to be stealthy or not, it's all good. But
so in plate and chainmail, there's no way.
Sure. And
Jen,
as
question.
Yes.
Sorry. Are there homeless families or communities around this time that are living in alleys or the streets as Argos is very frustrated with Zumnus from not being able to hide in the shadows on her way because I keep wanting to say hello to anybody who's there who might be, anybody. So
in this area, there aren't a lot of like homeless individuals, but it is kind of close to another tavern called the Cozy Cat Inn. So there might be sort of patrons coming in, stumbling in and out from that area and being nearby. There aren't necessarily.
As an overall, Zumnus has a small reputation for instant bonfires and alleys to cook for whoever looks like they might be hungry. But he has a proficiency in creating these instant mini kitchens that quickly disassemble and then we walk away. And sometimes Argos is very upset because they don't deserve the food. They try to steal from you. I'm like, whatever, we're fine, we're alive. Anyway, that's kind of
how many times it's just drunkards and thieves at this hour. Please.
Hungry is hungry. We must eat. if we can become better, if we can better ourselves, there's always potential.
You can't be better when you're dead.
So I have you, Argos.
Wow.
You can't be better if you're dead. That's a good one. I like it. All right, so you guys, hilariously enough, are like hanging out in opposite alleys. But
had a spatula out, and he's like, "Put it." Wait. Let's go.
Get ready. But I will move on to Karen. What time do you think you would arrive? Would you be stealthy? How would you approach this?
So Karen probably for those of you who don't know, Karen is a monk, and monks never skip leg day. So probably before heading off to the Mukami's store, she would probably do her run, since she's going to be up at 2 a.m. and cats are out and active in the night anyway. So she's probably doing a multi-mile, probably a 6-8 mile run, just throughout the city before she gets there. And she's probably going to be a little late, just because she's having to go through and cut through different places, because instead of ending at her house, she's going to be ending at the store. Right. Yeah, if she sees people that are trying to hide with her 18 passive perception as she's getting there,
yeah,
let me know that. If they come in on time, then that's, but if somebody's hiding around my friend's store after a very mysterious message, please let me know that.
Will do. I will say, if they don't get in on time, you will see all three of the people who have described themselves as arriving. So, but if they head inside by the time you arrive, then you won't see them. But we do now know Karen is parkouring her way, Assassin's Creed on the roofs, all the way over and a little bit late. So that's what you are doing. We'll pick up with Joe. How do you think your character is arriving on time, or anything he's doing on the way?
There's an over-under, because he strives to be on time, and he leaves with extra time because I know I get distracted or talking to people. It's 2 a.m., so it's less likely. But there's always a chance on any given occasion that I meant to be here, but I got caught up. There was somebody who needed directions, and then that turned into a conversation about bird watching, and they hadn't heard, and then the whole long conversation. But so there's an over under. I'll be close to right on time, because I don't strive to be crazy early, and the only thing I'm gonna do is just make sure I just have a big old coffee type situation, something with caffeine, keep you up and warm, because it's desert cold in the night.
Oh yeah, very, very cold.
And I'll just be standing. If I do get there before 2, then I would just be standing basically right outside the door, not in an alley, not hiding, nothing. Just kind of absent-mindedly looking around.
I love it. Okay, great. Lastly, Kit, when do you see your character arriving? What is he doing?
That's the issue here. His only instruction here, because he sucks with time, there's certain concepts that he does not understand, right? And when somebody not from his family, like his parents or his siblings, are there to help him out, he does not, he's a big strong guy, but he sucks at certain things,
Mm-hmm.
So if I have a request, can I roll something and you tell me when he arrives? Okay.
I love that idea. I love it. Let's go. I guess we can either do a D20 if you want it to just be pure luck. But if we're going off of his, I guess, kind of judgment, then we can make a wisdom check. But I will let you choose which one you'd prefer.
Can I get a roll call? What do you guys think?
Give him a chance.
Yeah, roll,
He's
man.
aware of time. He's just not great at it.
Okay,
That's what time it was. That's what time is.
Good call,
right,
man.
so just the wisdom roll, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's aware of time.
Okay, so just click on wisdom, right? I'm just trying to not make a mistake here. Okay.
Exactly.
You're not a stranger to the
Oh,
There it is.
yes, yes, getting that guy.
Oh, I forgot to mention.
Pyrotechnics.
Right, now that we're kind of like starting to roll, I totally forgot. What I normally do is 2 people usually have inspiration every session, and it does expire at the end of the session. Not that you have to roll now, it just reminded me of it. But just a reminder, Vogly and Kurt, the 2 of you have inspiration for this session, and it does expire at the end of the session, just so you know. And again, I'm not pressuring you into doing this because that was amazing. But Bert, I think because of that, I feel like you would arrive like crazy early instead.
So the sun goes down, he moves.
Yeah, right. So the second the sun goes down, so like 7 p.m., you're out there just like waiting. So that means there is a inevitable meeting of the Goliath, the human, excuse me, who was way too early. And a certain horned ranger who arrived a little bit early.
So yeah, I would just be standing and just side eye this mound of person. Good morning.
Hello. You furry like my father.
Perhaps I'm certainly hairy.
More than face, he have hair on face. You have all over.
And he just starts like moving his hand around you, like just like to signify where everything is.
Just kind of like watching the hands. Quite, yes. Oh, are you lost?
No, little green boy, come to me. He tell me be here after sundown.
Oh.
I give him eel. He grow strong.
Fair enough. Unfortunately, your messenger seems to have been misinformed. It was roughly about now. Have you been here since the sunset?
Yes. Boy say after sundown, I come after sundown.
Right. It's one way to be on time. Are you cold?
No.
And you just see him like thump his chest.
Bert, feel good.
Is there a bird I'm not seeing?
Bert is me. Me,
Bert,
Bert.
with a T, that is your name. Well, lovely to meet you, Bert. I'm Noel.
Hello. Hello, Noel.
Yes.
And he just reaches down to shake your hand.
Not that far.
Yes, not that far down. You guys are kind of close.
It is
Oh, sorry,
almost 2 feet still.
Oh, is it? Oh,
8'9".
shoot. Jeez.
I'm just shy of 7.
Oh, okay. Right. For some reason, I
So,
thought you were like 7, 8.
Still, it's awkward
Yeah.
for me. Like, I take note of it because I'm used to being over large
Yeah.
for most scenarios. But then just kind of like, oh, well, this is nice.
This is
It's a little
refreshing.
awkward. It's the flip flop. It's the reverse, but it's nice.
Yeah.
So I guess he just lifts his hand up a little bit then, like, hey, here you go. Here you go.
Oh my god. And as the 2 of you are kind of just waiting on the outside, the Duergar brothers, you saw the Goliath sitting there for the solid hour that you guys arrived early. He is now conversing with a minotaur of some kind. And Hekatla is very similar. You arrived in I keep wanting to say kid, but the human was already there. But you also kind of see them conversing at the moment. So I would say if the 3 of you wanted to do anything, you have an opportunity.
Are they in the door? Are they like blocking our ingress.
Just the two large beings, okay?
There's not enough food in this city to feed the two of those.
Mhm.
Although it's probably not going to stop you from trying, I'm sure.
We're very much too just like people at a work party who have ran out of small talk right now.
Hakatla walks up like very close to like everyone, almost observing each of you and just kind of like looking at everything that you're, wearing, your armor, but not to the point where she's like trying to discern whether or not she can fight you. It's just more like, and then looks up at the two tall guys.
Excuse you, we are poorly hidden in the shadows. We are not in plain view.
We are poorly.
She still like tilts her head and waves.
Sumnus
Can I
waves
help you?
immediately.
Hello.
Yes, I am Sumnus with my ward Argos.
Very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you also.
Are you all right?
Yes, we're here. We had a message. Argos, would you care to explain?
Yeah, I'd prefer not to, but sure, I'll explain to the stranger. We received a message to be here on the behalf of Mukami. I see we are probably not the only ones.
You are not. I can understand though why you don't want to share that though. It makes sense.
I
had a
share
similar
my name either, but here we are.
I am Helkatla. I also received a message like this. And she actually comes up very close to you both to the point where you want to like put your arms out to like push her back a little bit.
What is it with the surface people and the need for closeness?
Sumnus gets a little close and remarks, "Those are remarkable eyes."
Are they? They
Yes.
don't have any color though. So it's interesting that the unmarked are remarkable.
They're remarkable because you are you. Anyway.
One could argue that for anyone, right? And your eyes
And
too. And she like leans in close and she observes, just looking at your face and mapping out your face and studying.
We are Durgar.
Oh, I guess Foos would know what that is, right? I'm assuming.
I don't know if you do because of your background. Nenners, what are you inciting for? And Vogly, roll me a history check.
Yes,
I'm trying to incite because the as soon as Zumi points out the eyes thing, the only things that don't have like proper eyes in the Underdark were like blind predators. So he's going to immediately try to see if this is going to like try to eat his uncle, and if he needs to intervene.
All right, sounds good. Also, just so everybody knows, the highest roll we've had so far has been a 9.
I'm not an advantage.
Hey, there we go. No, yeah. Not an advantage, but the 13. There is something kind of alien-esque about this woman. But just at like the way she's sort of conducting herself and even leaning into your uncle, she has weapons on her belt and on her back. Likely, she doesn't seem like she's being aggressive at all. It seems as though she's just a little maybe awkward, or maybe you're paranoid. You can't tell, but she doesn't seem like she means any harm.
Sumnus gives it's completely what's the word? He's completely relaxed and jovial. So there's no threat, there's no paranoia, nothing. Completely confident and excited at the opportunity to meet.
Everything he said, but the opposite is what Argos is.
Argos, are you all right?
I am fine, thank you. I prefer my distance.
Oh, I apologize. And she steps back and then she tries to make a measurement. Is this better? Is this more comfortable?
That is fine. Thank you.
Very good.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, it was.
Who are you? And then
it's right in front of us.
And then she kind of meanders towards you and just looks up at you and nice to meet you. I am Helkatla. Who are you?
Pleasure to meet you, Helkatla. I am Noel Howard.
Oh, so you also had a note. And your friend?
Helkata.
Close.
Helkata. Hellcat. Hellcat. You Hellcat.
No, but if it's easier for you to pronounce my name that way, I will answer to that. What is your name?
I am Bert.
And once again, he reaches out his hand to you, just like
And she reaches out her.
he just shakes your whole arm at this point.
Like the forearm.
She's very excited. I see. Hello.
Never seen Grey Lady.
That is my nickname.
Mm.
Do you have a nickname?
Mama call me Bertie.
That's very nice. Well, shall we all go inside? Can you fit?
You actually do notice that this doorway seems unusually wide. Most doorways are, that sort of maybe 8 feet tall or so, but it is exceptionally wide. It's tiny.
Am I like in Mexico where the doorway's up to my nose or something? Or
no. It's probably, you do have to stoop down a little bit. But
I'm in Mexico.
Thankfully,
okay.
It's maybe like a foot shorter than you, but it is wide enough so that like you can crouch down, and it's not like I have to crouch and be small while I'm like, getting into this place. But it is unusually wide. But you do also see that the light or the candles do seem to be flickering inside.
Yeah, and I think as people are like figuring out how we get like the big and beefy boys inside, like y'all start to like see, y'all start to either see or hear, probably hear because it's dark, like the pattering of feet as like running in from like a very weird direction, like not from a main road. Like this girl has gotten turned around a little bit, but like panting and like running in and like skidding to a start. You all see Karen, who sort of like is panting and like hoping that she got in like relatively on time, and seeing that there are people like around out front is like a little relieved.
Oh.
Y'all hear from Akari's foolishness as well?
I believe we are.
Looking back behind you, I assumed you were in danger of some type.
Yes.
Oh, nah, I just be running. Like, y'all don't have to worry about me. Karen Wagali. It is good to meet y'all.
Hello. And
do
she
y'all
comes
know
up very
what
close.
any of this is about? Oh, I'm sorry. Folkly, Katla does something?
Yeah, she comes up very close to you as you're speaking, and just kind of looks at you and listens very intently as she leans close.
Bet, like, she notices that her whiskers twitch a little bit. But she sort of like turns to you and says, I think I like you. What's your name, stranger?
I think I like you too. I am Helkatla, and you said Karen?
Karen Wagali.
Wagali.
Charmed.
Yes. And she holds out her hand just like she did with Bert.
Oh, bet. Yeah, she'll go ahead and take the hand then. And
she shakes just as vigorously as Bert has shook her hand.
Zumnus elbows Argos a little. See, that's how you say hi to people.
Argos had cast magic stone in his pocket with the pebbles that he always carries. Because there's someone running at them, so he does not know what to do. So he kind of would shield himself behind Zumi for a moment to like hide the cast, but actually cast magic stone. Not gonna actually throw them, but like have them prepared. But once he realizes that it's not an enemy, we'll kind of ease. All right, maybe in this instance you are correct, Uncle. This is not the norm.
Remember our training. I'm completely confident in you, nephew.
And Helkatla leans into Karen and says, "He's out of his comfort zone. I think we need to support him."
As this is happening, the two beefy boys hear a little bit of jostling as the door seems to at first open out and then promptly hits one of your bodies and then pulls in instead. And you all see a relatively familiar female half-orc poking her head out, still dressed as though she never intended on going to bed, still wrapped up with much jewelry kind of hanging from her turban and her hair that gives her almost like a little like wind chime effect every time she moves her head. So after the door opens, you just kind of hear what sounds like almost like carapaces and like shells kind of like clanging together all around her face, and she kind of looks up at you. "Oh, the intention of this was to kind of be a little clandestine, so if I could get you all just to come inside and close the door after yourselves, that would be great. Just come on in.
What is clandestine?
It means...
Girl, what you doing out here? Got us out here at 2 in the morning.
Clandestine big word.
She means secret.
Secret?
Secret quiet.
Oh, okay.
Secret
okay,
quiet. We go
Please come inside. Please come inside. Please come inside.
Not a precise comment, but you could have indicated on the note that it was supposed to be somewhat hush-hush, as it were.
Foos, can I roll to see if Foos, can I roll to see if he bumps his head on the door or not, on the door sill or no?
That's up to you. Do you think he would get used to like the smaller people at this point, or is he still like fumbling around? Do you think?
When I go to Mexico, I don't.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking.
I mean, he's probably still chewing on clandestine, so he's like, clandestine.
Yeah, exactly. Roll me a dexterity check or saving throw, because this is you like reacting.
Okay, rolling save.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. No, you do manage to duck
Hey.
under it. It's a bit close, but you don't, thankfully. But I'll give you guys a little visual as you step into her store. But as you are stepping in, you're kind of, it is a general goods store, so there's plenty of sort of trinkets and baubles around and books and various things here. But most notably is the half-orc woman who has all met you before, some in passing, some kind of extensively, and beside her a owl bear who has never quite looked right. The owl bear also seems to be awake, but barely. And the only way you can kind of tell is every now and then it seems to be snoring, even though the eyes remain open. But as it sort of sits upright and watching you, Mukami kind of ushers you all in. So again, I just wanted to thank you all for being here. Everyone made it okay. Everyone's all right. You all seem to be in one piece, so that's good.
I was concerned about the little boy, Tabaski, that brought us a note. I hope he is not in danger. I'm Zumnus, by the way, and here to understand what is going on in this community of ours.
That was the intention, actually. So some of you already know me pretty well, and she kind of like points at Karen for a second. But some of you I've just kind of gotten worried about, and I thought that you might be interested in doing something. But it is entirely optional, and you all seem to be pretty capable in your own ways. And I wanted to see if you were interested in a job. But of course, you can say no. It sounds like you kind of already had introductions, so I will let you carry on with that in just a second. But for those of you who do not know me, my name is Mukami. You have likely been to my store before, but I kind of like to have my finger on the pulse, if you don't mind my saying that. But I am attempting to help people, and I can't do it alone, especially when you have a store to run and all the things that I do. I'm kind of busy. So I am just kind of looking for someone who might be able to help the city alongside me. And thankfully, due to the nature of my business, I have plenty to pay you with. Although all of you seem to be kind of, I guess, interested in helping people in your own ways, or maybe in need of a break. She looks over at Karen. How are those kids doing? Are they still as noisy as ever?
I think at this point, Karen just like finished up a very long run. Was walking around lost because she's not used to like going about the city when it's dark. I think like the first thing she did was like go up to, she knows the owlbear's name. I forget the owlbear's name,
Okay,
but like Waku. She goes up to Waku and it's like, oh hey Waku. Oh, Waku is asleep. And she'll just like start like doing cat's pose, like doing stretches to like wind down. And she's been like on a counter, very much like a cat, doing those stretches, like next to the owlbear. And like as she's doing that, she's gonna be like, once Mikami like talks to her, she's gonna be like, girl, it is late. I don't know what job it is you're doing. I don't know why you have children come running up after me. I don't like little kids. I love my kids. I don't like little kids. Just get to your point, babe. It has been a long night.
It looks like it has. And unfortunately, I kind of had to have you be here at a very specific time. So that's kind of why you're here at 2 a.m. Again, if you want to go home, you're more than welcome to. And I know in some cases I kind of had to use kids because if I have some adults approach you, sometimes, I don't know, it might look strange. Besides, I pay them very well. And they sometimes just are bored at the orphanage. So I give them money and they like to run around and talk to people too. So
Girl, you know that the subterfuge and everything has already got me hooked. I'm here for it. Just tell me what you want to know.
Do not worry, I will explain everything. But just so you know, if you ever get contacted by a child again, they came up with their name. I didn't, because it's actually really cool, and I'm kind of jealous I didn't come up with it, but they're called my little scorpions. So if you run into one of them, just know that it's from my batch. They're part of my brood, and I love them very much. But they're very, very helpful. And if I need to, I'll send them out to deliver a message or two. And thankfully, all of you are in very public places, so they're fine, and they know the city very well. Anyway, so now that we have all gathered, I would love to explain a little bit about how I found you and how I think we could use your talents. And as we are saying this, I think we have to take our break. Otherwise, it will be way too late for us to have our little intermission. So with everybody here, we're going to take a quick, let's say, 10-minute break. It's 8:11, so we'll be back at 8:21. So we'll be right back. Once again, thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
See you soon, guys.
we're back. Hello. We are picking up with this team as they have pretty much just united and are starting to kind of get to know each other. So picking up in Mukami's Trinkets, this general goods store at 2 a.m. and she asked each one of them to individually come here, with the exception of the Duergar not brother, excuse me, uncle and nephew, to come on over. But she is just about to explain how she either knows you or what is going on. So she's gonna get started. And again, her sort of very strange looking owl bear is still beside her. Both eyes are never looking in the same direction, but as she kind of speaks to individual people, one eye does kind of like make eye contact with someone as she's talking. So as she starts, she makes eye contact with Karen again. So you have been around for a while, but I'm pretty sure you didn't know of some of my connections, but I think we're close enough for me to kind of explain that to you. But just so everybody else knows, this is Karen. She is very talented with her hands and her fists. I've seen her punch straight through books, I swear. She's amazing, is what I'm saying. So knowing that she has this talent and that she is very athletic, I absolutely can see how I can use your talents, especially for maybe something like this. So knowing that this is the sort of background that you come from, and I've known you personally, so I could say that you're a wonderful person, and in general, even if you may not like my little scorpions, that you generally care for most people and are likely interested in helping. So
Truly, that is the worst name for a group of little gremlins. Scorpions?
as they named themselves, I thought it was pretty cool, but yes, they are the scorpions.
Terrifying.
I like them. They're so cute. Anyway, that's how I know her. And she looks towards the Duergar family members. And I've heard about you. You've come in to pick up a few things sometimes, rope or, a kettle here or there, depending on what it is. And I did spot that you seem to have some magical capabilities. I think both of you do. I haven't seen them in action, but I've heard that you actually give lectures. And she looks right at Zumi, that the community has spoken about.
Yes, I like to make it a point that our children of the community have every option to learn. And with that knowledge, they will be safer, making our jobs easier to relax. So I do have an affinity for magic. And with these tools, the most important part for me to imbue, to give to the children, and something I'm so proud of Argos, is the technique that he has formed for himself that makes him who he is. And I'm so proud. And with these little scorpions, I would also want them to understand the beauty and their potential with knowledge. So I will not display magic for the sake of displaying magic, but to be in a natural rhythm with the community. And that is the most important.
Well said. And she just looks at Argos. Hello.
Hello.
I've seen you do some little magic-y things here and there.
It's a failure on my part, then.
No, my scorpions found you, or saw you.
You kind of hesitate. I never... Like, the children as a threat angle just hit him. I'll have to be more aware of my surroundings, then.
Well, that's why they're great, because nobody really pays attention to them, which is a little sad, but it allows them to get paid by me. Find out some information, figure things out.
What would you have us do?
We'll get to that. But anyway, these two are helpful with magic, is all I was trying to say. And she kind of like cranes her head up a little bit. She's relatively tall, being a half-orc woman herself. She's about 6'4" or so, but the height cannot compete to the two big boys, the big beefy boys. But she locks eyes with Noel first. And where it
I will say I did take a seat because I'm cognizant of the height difference.
Okay, sounds good. There are like almost no chairs here, so I'm just like, are you sitting on the ground? Which is totally cool. I'm just curious.
I wouldn't sit on the ground.
Okay.
I will rough it, but I choose not to.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, there is a chair. It's just not very large, but you can certainly seat yourself on it.
I
but
might
she
just slouch
looks-
a little bit. I don't know if I'm not going to fit in the chair. Continue. I'm interrupting for inanities.
No, that's great. I love this visual even more now. But she makes eye contact with you. So I haven't really had the chance to meet you all that much. I think every time you've come in here, it's been a little busy, so I might have, given you what you needed and sent you on your way. But being a newcomer, a few eyes are on you, and the Scorpion said that you're pretty handy with that weapon on your back. And being a foreigner, I figured maybe this is a chance for you to kind of get to know the environment a little bit and also help.
An excellent idea. I myself am traveling around and scouting out the various environs and writing a treatise on the various beasts that inhabit land. Deserts have been interesting, with the limited water resources have been, well, affecting migratory patterns and herding and the effect on predators in particular. I'm rambling. Yes, I don't know when the children have seen me wield this weapon. I do try not to, but I'm quite good.
They seem to think so as well. There are a few that kind of hang out towards the outskirts too, so they might have seen you, beyond the walls of the city and wielding what you do. But in terms of beasts, that was actually part of the reason I did pick you. There aren't a whole lot of people who maybe know a lot about natural things, so I think you might be pretty helpful in that regard, as I explained a little bit more about why I called you here. But I'm so happy you answered the call. Thank you for being here.
Of course.
And afterwards, she turns to the other big boy. Did you like my pictures? Could you understand them?
Yes, little green boy, hell. He say
Yes.
give gold and victual.
Oh yes, correct. Everybody will be paid. And for you, I have a little bit of food because I figured they've only ever seen you eat the scorpions, so I figured you can have some food. Sound good?
Where little green boy?
He's not here. He's back at Little Towns.
Okay, you see him like moving around, like looking for something, and then he just brings out this like slimy package.
I have more eel for boy.
Oh! He would actually like that, and she kind of like
Those
takes it from
ginormous
you.
package, yeah.
Just smelled like so much more food for him. I'll tell him it's from you, and like as she's holding it, it's just like dripping oil. She's just like, okay, puts it behind her shelf there. But as she does so, though, you do see both of Waku's eyes kind of like look in the direction, and as she's putting it down, it's not for you, it's for the child. Child puts it down and then looks back at you. So I think it's kind of self-explanatory. You have a very, very big weapon on your back, and so money and food, right? That's all we need to be happy sometimes. And I can offer you both, and you could do a little bit of good for the city and some of the inhabitants.
Bird help then. What food you have?
Oh, I have some food ready for you to take if you want to have it now, or I can give it to you when you're leaving. Did you eat? Do you need food?
We take for journey.
Okay, I'll grab that for you once you guys are ready to go. You don't have to go terribly far either. But anyway, I'll give that to you in a bit. Thanks for being here. And afterwards, she turns towards the gray lady. And you have been the talk of the town for some time. It is nice to see you back in here again.
Very nice to see you too. How is Waku?
Oh, Waku, she's good. She's a little sleepy, but she's all right. I think she's happy to be here too. She kind of looks at Waku, who has dozed off in that short time. Yes.
And then she takes out a very small paper bag and hands it to Mukami. This is for Waku for later.
Oh, my goodness. We're just getting all these treats. I'm supposed to be paying you. She kind of like takes it for a second. But Anita, were you going to say something?
Nah, I think when like Karen seeing that like Waku was looking at food would like start digging into her bag of holding and like bring out some live lizards that she found like on her run that she just picked up because she knew that she was coming here.
Oh my god. Yes.
Also like gives that to Makari at the same time.
Okay. She's just, you always bring the best ones. And like most of them have like stopped moving at this point because bag of holding has a finite amount of air. But there are a few that are still kind of like slightly moving. She's like, That's actually perfect. Thank you. Hey, hello, Waku. It's Foozca. And you see her kind of like putting them on the ground, and Waku, one eye at a time, spots the movement beneath her, and her head kind of dips below the shelf, like where she is standing. And you guys hear rather unsavory slurping and chomping noises from behind the counter. Anyway, food all around. Who doesn't like food? But anyway, thank you again. She looks back at Hekatla. Yeah, so I have heard that you are sort of someone who looks after like planar things or something. I don't know. I think one of them heard you spouting something to someone else. So not being there and having to take the word of children roughly ages 6 to 14, sometimes it's not the greatest information, but most of the time it's pretty accurate. That being said, you might be interested in this.
Especially if it involves those who come to this plane and do not belong here. They are not welcome.
Yeah, I agree for the most part. Anyway, so that's essentially how I found all of you, and I appreciate that you all have taken the call. I did send out a few more notes. It hasn't worked in the past, but I think we did a better judge of character this time around, and I'm very happy to see we had a 100% response rate. So thank you all. Anyway, what I am going to be talking to you about, and what I think you have to investigate pretty soon, she kind of like looks out the window, it kind of has to happen at night, which is why I called you here at this time. So if you don't like it, obviously you can go about your business, but there have been a few strange things in a certain pocket of the city. And there's kind of been weird things happening pretty often, but like the guards are pretty good about kind of squashing anything that is like a really big problem. But this has been a kind of a small problem, and it's hard to explain, so they don't really believe me, and that's okay. But I'm hoping that maybe you guys can dig into it a little bit. So this is what's going on. For those of you who know, she's kind of like looking around, and well, Karen probably knows, and you do as well. And she looks at Noel. This area has obviously certain natural animals, one of which are kind of like gerbeens, the little like mouse guys with the long feet, because it's very hot in the desert and they can't handle the heat. So those are normal. But in this area, we're starting to see rats that are not from this area at all. Just regular rats, like not sand or desert rats at all. They're very, very large. And they seem to kind of be scampering around this one like block or two. And that was kind of weird anyway. It seems like a pest control, which is also part of the reason why the guards don't really want to take a look. But the other thing is, everyone in that area has started complaining about nightmares. And they all kind of vary, but everyone's getting them. They all seem to be about, well, you know, our lovely oasis, the infinite, and its lovely infinite water that cleanses and houses and takes care of everybody here, hydrates everything in the area. They keep having dreams that the infinite is going to get poisoned, which would be absolutely disastrous for this city. But every time they dream about that, they dream about it as like a sort of like a rat is doing it. Some of them talk about people who maybe like have rat faces. Sometimes they talk about like whole rats, and sometimes they talk about giant rats. And it's very, very strange. So I went over there with Waku a few nights ago, just trying to get a good look. And when I was there, I did see like pretty big, and she kind of like motions with her hands, and for the rest of you, it's like roughly like football sized, like rats, like they're not big mammals in this area are not all that common, just because again the desert and such. But in like their feet should also have a hard time with the sand. They're burrowers and such, and they kind of can't do that here. So I don't know where they're scampering off to. And they seem to be kind of in this area, and it's strange for many reasons. The dreams are weird, and the rats that seem to be populating in this one area, and all of the dreams being the same. You know, I hear about it just because, you know, people come in, they talk, they tell me about their day, and I don't know. It's just
so
weird.
You want a girl that can punch books in half to go investigate rats.
More to the point, why are you destroying knowledge? Break a board or something.
It
It doesn't matter. Rats. An invasive
Yes.
species. That's fascinating. Do you have someone in the area who's perhaps a merchant or a traveler like myself who might have brought them back nightmares? Related, improbable, fascinating.
It's very strange. Again, because it is this block that's kind of having this. It's roughly 45 people or so having the same dreams every night. It's been like this for like about a month, which I also feel bad for because maybe they're not sleeping right. You know, that can't be a good thing to have to deal with every single day. Think of the children, and they're not having a good time either. So, look, I know it sounds like it's just a pest control problem, but this sounds like something is allowing these rats to survive here. And if someone's not harboring them, then I feel as though maybe there's some sort of magical influence to make them even be here and not dry up in the sun and run out of food. The other thing that's a little concerning, I guess, is that this block is about 10 minutes away from the oasis. So I'm concerned that it's going to spread in that direction, as it did seem to kind of start on one side of the block and kind of move its way to the opposite end in the direction of the infinite. So I'm worried it's going to continue, and I don't know what that means. So and also this happens at night. Most of the time, the rats are only ever seen at night. I saw them when it was like 3:30 a.m. or so. So this, you know, pretty soon you might be able to see them. And everyone has nightmares around this time too. So it might be terrible, but maybe hear some unhappy people in the dead of night and find some rats and maybe find out what's going on. I know it's a strange
Argos and I are in, that's for sure.
Oh, I'm
There
glad to
appears
hear
to
it.
be a threat of danger, and the children alone having nightmares is enough to warrant investigation. And it does not discriminate, these nightmares in the vicinity.
No.
It is an area of effect, and is essentially affecting all within the area.
It seems to be the entire block. Yes.
Have they reported bites?
No bites at all.
Anybody missing food?
No, actually, that's the other reason I was very confused.
At least it's at
Interesting.
night and we don't have to suffer in this blistering sun. But yes, let's I guess we're in.
Oh, we're in, all right.
So job be kill big rats.
Yeah, rats. I mean, the rats I saw, but they were, you know, big rats. But yes, get the rats.
He
Get
sees
them.
the way you're putting your hands. Like,
Oh, kill smaller rats. Okay.
I mean, they're big rats for rats. It's fine. You just get the rats. Get the rats. Get them out. I think they're bad. I'm pretty sure they're bad.
Okay.
That's part of the reason and she kind of looks at Noel. I did want the expertise of a nature expert. Expertise expert. Same sentence. Anyway, you might be able to discover a little more about them than I would.
Yes, I wouldn't necessarily jump to extermination of a creature, but they are pestilence and spread disease. But
Extermination.
you say, yes, extermination. It means kill. You say people have not reported food missing?
No, not at all.
Interesting. Rattus rat is, of course, a scavenger by nature and can survive many environments, though not native to a desert, but you would think they would be finding an alternative food source. Unless
Very
people are leaving
bad.
garbage about in the
Smart.
streets, I don't understand what they're eating. Perhaps if we
And-
can find their nest.
And no bites.
That would be preferable, but I mean, the rat's that size. What kind of nest would that be? I don't know.
We're obviously dealing with something magical in nature.
That's what I thought. But you know, I can't really go check that out. So I was hoping you could too. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, like I said, I will be very happy to pay all of you. So if you agree on this, I will give you 100 gold right now. And upon, I guess, investigation or completion, I'll give each of you 500 gold at the end. So hopefully that's enough to kind of get you interested. If those of you who are not already can I should be able to hold you over for some time.
Yes,
That's a
I
good
will
one.
go. I
How
will
much
go.
eel that buy?
How much what?
How much eel that buy?
Oh, so many eels. All of the eels. You could get so many eels.
Okay.
Also,
I still have the food for you too, so I'll get you that too.
It is not lost on me that you called in the cat lady to take care of rats.
I was hoping you weren't going to say that.
Girl, I'm already up and I don't got nothing better to do. I will handle your problem for you.
Yeah, okay.
Shall we?
It sounds like we're in agreement. So, hold on just a second. She kind of like bends down beneath her counter, and you guys see clanging on top of the counter before she comes up. So her arms are just kind of like plopping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bags of gold, each of them with about 100 pieces in it. She kind of slides them across the table. So that's the starter payment. Let me get your food. She turns and kind of like ducks into the back room for a moment. And as she does, Waku seems to like stare at you and then get pat by Helkatla. But as she runs to the back room for a moment, you see her poke her head back out for a second. Please don't steal anything. We're friends now. Okay. Goes back to the back room for a little bit. But after a little bit of shuffling, comes back out with something that seems to be like very carefully wrapped in like almost like banana leaves, but sets that down on the counter. And it's good, like maybe 1 foot by like half a foot tall or so, but like very tightly wrapped, and slides that towards Bert. So I think you'll appreciate that. I mean, you can have it on the way or whenever you want. I don't know if you want to figure out what that is now or later, but that's for you. That's part of your payment.
Right. Yeah, he just picks it up and he just stowed it away. I'm assuming he have some kind of satchel or something. I don't know. But
yeah, of course. You probably have like a backpack or so, like your usual starter equipment that you can like,
okay.
Put something in. Yeah, that's not a problem at all. Okay. Great. So the location, the block that it's happening at is about 45 minutes away or so. It's kind of northwest. But I'll give you the address. The house I think it originated from is the address I'll give you, but it has kind of enveloped the whole block. But keep your eye
What makes
out.
you think this is the origin, the point of origin in the house? Were there any clues, or is this how did you find any specific information on the point of origin? Is it a famous house?
I know, that doesn't seem to be, at least. Actually, that person who lives there seems to be a little cranky. Not a lot of people really love that family too much. But I get the gossip of everybody who comes in. So some of them were talking and saying that they were ranting and raving about dreams about the oasis, and they didn't really investigate or anything. They just thought that maybe the family was having a bad time. But then when they started getting affected by the dreams too, then they started talking out loud, especially to me when we were in here, and they kept saying that, they were starting to get those crazy dreams too, and that maybe they had something to do with it. And they kind of started blaming each other, but I had to kind of let them know that it's probably not their fault. I don't think, at least. It seems like a terrible thing to bring upon yourself, I guess. I don't know.
Are they, are they aware that we are coming?
Nope. That's the idea. All of this is kind of under the books. I told the guards to take a look, but they were just telling me that rats aren't a problem and everyone's just having a bad night, I guess. But I don't think it's good to maybe tell the guards either, because I shouldn't be hiring mercenaries in the city to go do some things that they probably don't want us doing. So if you can do your best to not get caught, or if you do, don't tell them about me, I'd really appreciate it.
Mum's the word.
Can do.
Exactly. Perfect. Okay. And if they do come my way, then I will do my best to, I guess, send them somewhere else. But I do have plenty of, I guess, contacts and such. But hopefully that all makes sense-ish to you. I can give you the address. And is there anything you need?
Karen, if I may? Is Karen okay?
Like at the don't get caught by the police, Karen was like sort of like doing like a very circular, just like lounging on the counter, just like laying down like cats do, and then like ears perked up at like, and she turned and just like started giving Makari the look at the stink eye, but is gonna turn back and say, yes, I am still good, all set. Let's go investigate.
I had an idea, Karen. If maybe instead of a direct approach, since you're so good at knowing what's happening in the neighborhood or interacting, and I'm fairly new, maybe an indirect approach of gathering information with gossip. Maybe that might be a better approach instead of directly going to the point of origin. And I wanted to refer to you because it seems I have this feeling that you're very proficient in this manner of deducing and getting information.
Girl, I don't know nothing about no Mary Avenue. Like, that's Hamilton's side of the neighborhood. I don't really head out over there. But like,
Perhaps
if
he means
anything,
to scout. Oh, sorry.
if anything, I would like to get this done tonight. It seems like there's some sort of time limit or some sort of discretion that needs to be used. If we like meet up again, it might be taken a little bit of away, and we might attract some eyes. Let's finish this up tonight, and come back to maybe get the rest of our payment and a little more answers that we can give and maybe receive as well.
Yes, that sounds great. If we can accomplish it. Argos, you think? What do you think?
I think seeing it firsthand, and I mean, I'm a little worried about our profile.
Yes.
We have a suspiciously large human. I think I'm not used to the species up here. The Minotaur at night is terrifying, so we might need to work on, maybe going on a slower profile if possible. And no offense, of course, but
that was a very offensive thing you just said before you said no offense.
well, I mean, it's 3 a.m. by the time we're going to get. Imagine you're taking the trash out or something, and you bump into our friend here.
Oh, well, that is a point. These people have been having nightmares. Are you all right?
Understand the threats of a smaller statured race such as ourselves and the larger. It's not personal, but it would be felt as a threat. The potential of violence and the advantage one so big might have against others. So my nephew did not mean to judge. He's a very good lad.
Speaking
of understandable. Predators tend to be larger and stronger, and I do have these rather sharp horns that would indicate that I would be perhaps aggressive. It is evolution and nature.
All right. We could move quietly along the city, take some back paths.
I have enlarged reduce. Could I reduce these big boys and we can go in?
It only lasts a minute, so take you. When we get closer, you could do, and it's only one at a time unless you.
Okay, and any illusion, if you could recommend one that it's on my menu, would that make sense for us to get into the town?
That could cover when the area we're working in.
Okay.
So, like, let's say we're trying to break it out. You can cast an illusion over where we're breaking in, and make it look like it's normal.
We can C-3PO and R2D to it in Jabba's palace, and we go first, set up the scene, and then they come and save us.
Argos doesn't like that, but Uncle, armor up, and he's gonna cast mage armor on himself. Since
I'm ready. Ready to learn.
Okay.
Save the kids.
I will also mention I am a general goods store, so if there's anything that you need before you leave, that's on the house too.
Also, I am prepared to prepare any recipes that are known to you, and that I can prepare a delicious meal for all of us before we go. And I think that would be a very good start to our sojourn expedition.
You know how make roast pig?
Yes. If it doesn't offend any in our party, of course. We must be considerate, my friend. Considerate that you care.
What is
You don't want
considerate?
to bite you don't want to bite the bones of someone else's meal. If that makes sense to you.
It does
Your
not.
food is your food.
Is
Your
roast
food
pork
is your food. Their food is their food. We must understand this. And then we share if we're allowed to after.
Wait, no, he's good with sharing it.
My improvised. Jeez.
That was great. I love it.
Trying to teach him. I'm trying to teach him in the nicest way. You know that we need to be considerate.
Exactly. But yes, anything that I can give you before you head out? And she kind of like scribbles on a little piece of parchment about the same size as the ones that you all got sort of folded up, and then slides it just forward for anyone to get. So that's the address. That's where it originated, but the rest of the block that's attached to that address is the one that's sort of feeling the effects. Interestingly enough, it hasn't crossed the street yet. It's just at that block. But it's over there, and it's a bit of a walk, but hopefully not too far. You all are able-bodied people, so I think it'll be okay.
I mean, if you're going to just be dispensing goods, I wouldn't say no to some parchment and, well, a refresher on ink. I can always make sure that's topped up, as well as perhaps a few pieces of chalk and an empty burlap sack or two.
Absolutely. I have all of those.
Excellent.
And for most of those, she just kind of like dips down beneath her, and like you see her pulling out regular sized parchment and then look over you and, do you want bigger? I have bigger ones. Because these are just...
Oh, no, I'm accustomed to working with the more standard sizes. I was raised around a number of libraries.
Oh, that's really cool. Okay, well, there you go. No problem there.
Library is bookhouse. Yes.
You can just hear him talking to himself.
Library is bookhouse. Yes.
Bookhouse is accurate. in a
Known
way.
words.
Yes, exactly.
I
Okay,
think... Yeah, I think that Karen is going to notice Argus like cast a armor spell, and sort of like head over and just be like, we're going to investigate some rats, and you really think that it's gonna come to all that?
Rats carry all kinds of horrible diseases, none of which I want on myself. Or my uncle, and he'll kind of like gently pat Zumi to like cast mage armor, like, please. But
yes, of course.
I default to caution over anything else.
Did I do something?
She's gonna sort of like shrug and reach into her backpack and just take out a very large baseball bat and heft it over her shoulder. And we'll just say, alrighty then.
Are we gonna go vandalize a car or something? What's going on?
We go get some rats.
Show
them how it's done.
Interesting weapon.
The rat bat.
It's just something I picked up from the dojo. Like, they have like a softball team there, and the other weapons that they had like don't really like go with me. So I think I ought to name it. Don't like warriors like get names of their weapons? I don't know. Like, we'll figure it out on the way.
Our people did that as well.
Well, maybe we'll find out the name today. Maybe its name is Rat Basha.
Our
Let's
people, your weapon had to earn their names, so perhaps that will happen tonight.
Very nice. And I think because we are close to our closing time, this is a good time for us to wrap up with the team sort of preparing to head out, having just met each other, and having an idea of where to start their investigation. So I'm just going to run through and let everyone sort of reintroduce themselves as we're on our way out, just as a reminder and such. But thank you so much for joining us. I'm Foos. I've been the DM for this, and I will once again pass it off to Netters.
I'm Nenners. I play the cranky Argos. It's I'm looking forward to it. As per usual, I hope I don't die, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'll pass it over to Kurt.
I'm Kurt. I'm playing the character of Zumnus, an educator who's has something in the past that motivates him to not be afraid of making the world good and not being afraid of challenging evil and needing to know where it is, if it is at all. And his life is Argos and the children and good people of the world. So education and a confidence and not worried about his health at all because it's not an issue. He's okay. He's confident in education and knowledge. So anyway, oh, by the way, voice and character hopefully will grow as we go on. I haven't played in decades, so thank you.
Also, Maya in our chat just called you, rather than a do-a-gar, a doer-good.
Hey, I love it.
Fuck yeah, Maya.
Beautiful.
She's incredible with that.
She's a wordsmith.
Yes.
Awesome.
Kurt, you can pass it off to whoever you'd like.
Yes, Vogel. Am I saying it right? I'm sorry.
Vogel, or Vogly, or
That's what I did at
I
first,
like
yeah.
Vogley. I like
Vogly.
Vogly.
Hey.
Vogly.
So I am Vogly. I play Helkatla, the paladin, and I'm working on doing high whiz characters. Wish me luck. And I'm passing it off to Anita.
Oh, that's me. Hey everybody, Anita here. I have been playing the lovely, wonderful, beautiful, talented Karen this evening. Housewife turned exterminator, I guess. My name's Anita. Her name's Karen. Bright Goat is the pit crew that Karen is from. Like, go check out Bright Goat. They're incredible. And I will toss it over to, like, truly, I didn't realize that this person, like, did another voice that I was, like, very much into on this channel. But, like, I'm gonna pass it over to Kid, who is just delighted every time I hear this person speak. Kid, take it away. Go for it.
Okay, thank you for that. I'm once again the guy without the camera. Call me Kit. I am playing. His name is Wybert, actually, but yeah, he goes by Bird and Birdie. I hope the voice is okay. Yeah. I hope I can keep doing that. I don't know if I can hit it next week, but we'll see if I can do that.
You can.
Good luck, man.
Yeah. So having a blast. Thank you for having me. Joe, we meet once again.
We do. We'll be fast friends. I'm Joe. It was just said. I've been playing Noel, our Minotaur would-be scholar. He denies that he's a beefy boy and just wants to learn. But yeah, just here to be enthusiastic and almost tall. I've learned I'm not the tallest. It's all right.
You're still tall. You're just not the tallest.
Yeah.
It's a
I'm
new
ready for
perspective
some
for Noel.
Stephen Fry playing
Book-talker.
Gilbert vibes. It was great.
For the record, the
Yes.
tallest human ever was 8'11".
Yeah, but he was a not functioning person. He had a cane and was like not having a good
Yeah,
time.
and he was like
He
what
wasn't-
23 when he died. The poor man.
Yeah, it is. It's not normal for a human to be that tall.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back this weekend for Legacy and Difficult Terrain, and we'll be back here next Monday for our second episode of Task Team M. So thank you so much for being here, and have a wonderful night, and we'll see you later.
Have a great week,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.